So for my pork vindaloo, I have peeled and cut up into chunks 4 potatoes. That should be ample. And what we're going to do, we're going to parboil these. So my potatoes have been drained of the hot water. They are part cooked. I've stuck a knife in there to see what the resistance is like, and I can almost punch through to the middle. So what I've done, I've drained the hot water off and rinsed these under cold tap twice, just to stop the cooking process, and then I'm leaving them for the next half an hour just to cool down completely so they don't fall apart when I add them to my vindaloo. So this is a kilo of pork, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut it into cubes. Got some nice big pieces to eat. So we'll keep this back for later. Got enough here for about three people. So we're going to make vindaloo. Vin meaning vinegar and aloo meaning potato. It's a dish brought back and created in a restaurant from the Goan region of India, which used to be run by the Portuguese in the old days. Now Goan pork vindaloo is pork and peppers and cloves and vinegar, whereas vindaloo in a restaurant would be as hot as you could possibly get it, burn your face off, and it's usually done by stupid people who drink 10 pints of lager and think they're hard men, and they go to the local curry shop, piss the people off in there, and basically order the hottest thing because they think they're a man. That is not what this dish is all about. A decent vindaloo is hot and spicy. It's not too hot that it'll burn your face off, melt your tongue, and it's a tasty dish. You can taste the spices, you can taste the heat of the chilies, and you can taste the vinegar in it. It does not necessarily have to be an arse-warming experience the next day for you. It should be a tasty dish, not a dish for stupid people that they order on a Friday night after 10 pints of lager. Got 1.5 teaspoons of coriander, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of turmeric. And what we're going to do is get a cup, and I'm going to put these in and make a little paste with a little bit of water. Okay, so let's run through the ingredients I'm going to use. Right, so I've got 8 red chilies, and all I'm doing is just breaking off the wooden stem on the top. Yeah, just give it a twist, and I'm not cutting these up. I want these to sit in the sauce and simmer. What I will do, just to get a bit of flavour out of them, is I will actually poke them with a knife, and that will actually release some of the heat inside, but not all of it, because it's the white membrane and the seeds that create the spice and the heat in a curry. I'm not going to do it to everyone. I'll just do it to 1 or 2, and that will allow you to keep a milder flavour than if you chop them all up and release the seeds. Over here I've got a green pepper, I've got some tomato paste, I've got a teaspoon of fenugreek, and over here I've got 2 tablespoons of my hot curry paste that I made earlier. I've got my spice mix that we went through, which we'll fry off, and over here I've got 2 pints of my base gravy that I also showed you how to make earlier. We're going to cook it in some clarified butter, which is ghee. That's what the Indians use. We're also going to need a tablespoon of vinegar. We're also going to use some coriander. I've also got 2 teaspoons of garam masala. So what I've done, I've just diced up my green pepper and I'm just stabbing that chilli there and that chilli there. The rest of the chillies I'm leaving whole, and that way I won't overspice the dish. So I've got 2 tablespoons of ghee melting on my frying pan. Once that gets up to speed, we're going to fry off our paste. So I've got 2 tablespoons of ghee and we're frying off our curry paste that we made earlier. And we don't want this to burn, so watch the heat. And what we're going to do, while that's thrown off, we're going to add a tablespoon of tomato paste. Now we've added and fried off our tomato paste, we're going to add in our fenugreek, our garam masala, our hot curry paste that we made earlier. Start to fry that off as well. What this will do, this will actually come together as a gel, and then as it gets hotter it'll start releasing its oil, and that's when we want to throw in our chilies and our green pepper. Now the oil's starting to come out of my spices that I've already fried off, so what I'm going to do, add in my chilies and my green peppers. Give that a stir around. So now they've started to sweat down, releasing their flavours. The kitchen's smelling lovely again now. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to transfer this to a casserole tin. Now we transfer that to our crock pot, and what we're going to do is add in our liquid gravy that we made earlier. Give this a stir around, make it all infuse. The spices now will turn my gravy a darker shade now, so that's what we want. We're looking for the colour. Let's give that a stir till the spices are absorbed into the gravy. And what we do next, we'll add our meat in and we'll cook that. I'm going to use the oven to cook mine. So the sauce is simmering now, so I'm going to add in my pork. So I don't splash it everywhere, just using my hands to drop it in. So we've added our pork to our Vindaloo sauce, and what we're going to do, we're going to let this cook for about an hour, and we'll have a look at it, see if it's tender or not, and then revise our cooking time. I think an hour will be fine with this, and I'll leave the lid on it, put it in the oven for 200 degrees, and I'll come back and see what it looks like. Well, I've just taken this out of the oven, I've had a taster. The meat is tender now, so what I've done, I've chopped up a big handful of coriander and I've added the potatoes in for a final cooking of about 15 minutes. I want the potatoes to actually absorb some of the juices and the gravy in here, and what I need to do now is add 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar. There we go, that should do it. That should give the vinegar flavour of the meat. And what we'll do, we'll just give this a little stir around. And what we'll do, you can smell the vinegar coming off of this now. And what we'll do, we'll give it a little taster. Maybe add some salt if it needs it. I just want a bit of the gravy. Now 1 tablespoon of vinegar is cut through the whole of the sauce we've got. It no longer tastes hot, it's spicy. You don't want it burning your mouth off. You don't want it turning the inside of your face inside out just because it's so hot. The meat is lovely and tender now, so I'm going to leave this in the oven for another 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We'll come back to it and we'll serve it up with some boiled rice. This is my pork vindaloo. I hope you're going to make this. It's very tasty. The pork is tender after being cooked for an hour and 25 minutes in the oven, give or take. It falls apart. The potatoes are still holding their shape, which is good. They are soft. The sauce is excellent. It's a spicy sauce as opposed to a hot sauce. Now you can go to some Indian restaurants, and what they do, they will make this dish up for you. This is a restaurant dish as opposed to a true Indian dish that you would have if you went to India. The spices, when they do this in an Indian restaurant, they will add chili powder, and that chili powder increases the heat, and they use some very fiery chilies when they do this. Like Naga chilies, they're quite hot in the Scoville factor, and as a result, that sauce that they make and put the pork into, or whatever meat you're having, tends to overpower everything. This sauce here, you have a subtle blend of the vinegar and the spices, which is what you should have in a true Vindaloo. So I hope you're going to make this. I thoroughly recommend it. I know it's a bit long-winded with all the sauces and all the spice mixes and stuff, but it's very tasty.